Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
That's what we do.
It is a brand new release on Disney Plus called Safety. So this is a sports movie technically, but it is more in the category of feel-good, inspirational, true story sports movie.
Yeah.
Which is, in fact, its own genre.
It is. There's lots of these.
There are lots of them within the sports movie genre. And this is another.
It is.
Telling the true story of, let me get this right, Ray McElrathbey, who was a Clemson University college football player. Real life, real guy. Played by Reeves in the movie, but a real person. And I got a full ride scholarship there to play ball.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Clemson is a major team in the NCAA football.
Okay. Thank you for telling us.
You're welcome.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now I do. I did get that impression sort of from the film, that it was sort of an important thing, that they were a thing.
Yeah, they're a thing.
They're a thing. So this guy is no joke, but he's there, he's got a full ride. He's pretty intent on actually getting an education while he's there, which is smart.
It is. The statistics are not with you if you're trying to make a living as a football player.
No. I think an education is probably always smart, but he's trying to get in. While the classes are free, he's taking as many as he can, which on top of a really robust football schedule is a lot for anyone. And even his professors think he should maybe be just taking nutrition for athletes, which apparently is a real No, I'm constantly surprised and baffled by the real college credits that you can get in the States.
Well, they don't really get credits because their job is playing sports. Mm-hmm. That is a full-time thing when they're traveling. Mm-hmm. They can't take a real course. Mm-hmm. It's so rare
but then
for someone
why are
to
they
do.
at school at all?
Well, we can get into that. The whole thing is stupid.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. He's actually trying to get an education. He's taking real classes.
Yes, he is.
And it's really tough. It's really tough to do both of these things, as Sean was saying. And so maybe both areas will sacrifice a little bit because you're not giving your 100% to either one. But both of those things are going to take a back seat when Ray's little brother, Fahmarr, has a bit of a problem.
He's homeless.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much that he doesn't have a home.
Well, he doesn't have a parent.
Right. Their mother is an addict and winds up in jail. We're, I think, led to believe that this is not the first time. Nobody seems surprised. Usually she's in and out in like a week, but this is a little guy. Maybe, 11, 12, would you say?
Yeah, I would.
To be on his own, fending for himself.
Oh yeah, he can't take care of himself.
For a week.
Yeah.
Then the mother gets transferred, and he can't even get in touch with his brother to tell him that this has happened because he's so busy with school and football. It's a full schedule, plus there's a girl.
There's always a girl.
Yeah. So he's very, very busy. Finally, the little brother is able to signal that things are not great for him. And they do live, guess what? The addict mother has not provided a beautiful, stable home life for them. You may not be surprised to find out. It's kind of a rough place where they live. And a lot of unsavory characters around. And those are the only characters around because his mom is going pretty much from jail to rehab.
Yep.
Which is good news for her.
It is.
That's where she needs to be. And yet there's no one else in the world that can take little Fahmarr, or Faye as they call him. Ray and Faye. Fahmarr is played by Thaddeus Mixson. How do you like that?
I like it a lot.
I knew you would. It's hard not to love. So there's no one else in the world for him, and so Ray does the only thing he can think of, because the only other option seems to be group home.
Yep.
Which is not a great option, as we know.
Nope.
He takes him back to campus.
Yeah, he's living in a dorm with a roommate.
Yes, an extremely Italian roommate for no apparent reason.
No.
But I think Sean appreciated the flair.
I did, yeah. He's making spaghetti.
No, his mom made spaghetti. He's reheating his mom's spaghetti constantly. And more besides. They're eating well. At least we can say that for them.
Well, that's the Italian way.
Yes. And now they're hiding a kid on campus, like basically under the bed, under piles of laundry, which turns out laundry is an excellent way to hide just about anything. And that's kind of true even, if you're trying to hide valuables and stuff from robbers. They're going to look through your underwear drawer. They have a look in your freezer. They know all those hiding spots. But if you just have a big slob mess in a corner, chances are they're not going to want to pick through your dirty undergarments.
The stinkier, the better.
Mm-hmm. So that does go a long way in hiding little Fahmarr from the authorities.
It does. The football locker room laundry is about as stinky as it gets.
Yes, no kidding. That was really revolting.
Yes.
I was like, nothing is worth this.
No.
And the poor kid has a detergent allergen. So this is really a bad situation for him. But remember, he's coming from a worse situation, so sacrifices are going to be made. But for a young man who has just arrived at school for the first time, he's got a heavy load with his football, he's got a heavy load with the course schedule, and now he's raising a kid. That's kind of insane. And he's doing it down low. He's doing it totally in secret because I guess there are rules against these things, guys.
There are, yep.
Not even the rules you'd think. But yeah, so he's hiding it and then even gets the kid in school, but like that's a huge commute for them to do. Like it's a huge deal to get, even just to bring this kid to the bathroom.
Yeah. He has to sneak him in.
Yeah, like in a duffel bag.
Yep.
And nobody ever questions why a body-sized duffel bag is being hauled to the bathroom all the time.
Well,
like
as
what
long
kind
as
of
it comes
shower
back
necessities do these guys have?
It's weird.
It's a little weird. And the little underoos in his laundry.
Yeah.
It's a red flag, especially for the ladies. So he actually gets away with it for like a month. But guess what? Mom's gonna stay in rehab even longer. Which again, good
for
thing
her. Yep.
for the addict's mother. And a rare thing for somebody of limited means to get free treatment and like a good deal of time, because you do need time. It does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 30 days. And so it's really great for her to get this opportunity and very difficult to give up. But again, she does have a young son and we don't want to see him end up in foster care. And yet that 1 month was precarious enough. The next 3 are going to be a bit of a stretch.
Well, yeah, because Ray and Faye did get caught and told, you gotta get rid of your brother. He's gotta go back somewhere else. But there is nowhere for him to go.
Yeah. So the coaches on the football team, once they know, and they're kind of upset that they didn't know, but once they know, the team really pulls together. And this is a nice thing to see, because we see the bad side of football, and we even see the grouchy side of football in this movie. So to see all these young men pulling together, helping babysit this kid, they're keeping the secret, they're doing what they need to do to help this guy keep his brother safe, which was really nice to see. And the coaches, they realize hiding him in a dorm is not a long-term solution. I can't believe it was any kind of solution. They get him a nice little apartment, so at least they've got a place to stay. But guess what?
Guess what? You're not allowed to do that in the NCAA.
Oh boy.
Because only the NCAA can make money off of student athletes. They can't give any of that back.
To the athlete.
No.
To the people sacrificing their bodies and their youth to a brutal sport that probably will never pay out for them.
Correct.
So they're making sure it never does.
That's right.
And I get why those rules exist, because obviously it does create issues if schools are buying athletes. But like you said, also unfair that they want to keep all the profits themselves, it seems like they could fairly distribute some of those.
Sure, they could. They could just make a rule that says you get this much money.
You get a salary.
Yeah.
Or a stipend, or whatever you want to call it.
Done. It doesn't have to be zero. It's only zero because they're greedy.
Yes. And again, these guys are not getting cash money from anyone. They're getting rides.
They're getting rides from the coach's
and
wife.
Warm meals.
Yep.
And sometimes babysitters.
Yep. And sometimes a church group comes to help clean out the basement because Ray is a kind of a caretaker as part of the deal.
Yeah. And that's what the NCAA
That's what the
is going to crack down on.
is going to crack down on.
How
That's right.
dare you get a ride?
Yep.
A ride. Like how, I mean, obviously this situation was just a red flag to them, but like how can you even police every car that anyone has ever ridden in and make sure that you left your quarter for gas or whatever? Like that's insane.
Of course it's insane.
And insane that, you know, this is the sword they want to die on, because we know lots of shady stuff happens all the time, despite these crazy rules.
Yep.
And yet, the, 12 Escalades parked in the parking lot have not raised any flags. It's this situation where, like, an 18-year-old kid is just trying to do right by his little brother.
Yeah, the lesson is don't try.
Don't even try. Anyways, we did call it an inspirational, heartwarming, and so guess what? There will be a happy ending.
There's a happy ending.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank goodness. So it's a movie that might remind you a little bit of The Blindside. I think it's hard to not make those comparisons. And yet, there's no big white savior crunch, thank goodness. That is the movie Sandra Bullock won her Oscar for, and yet it is not aged well and was really not even received all that well by lots of communities at the time, because it does make it look like black communities need rich white people to solve their problems. And while one guy may have found a nice home to live in that situation, this movie shows the community pulling together and helping itself. And I think that is such a great thing to celebrate. And part of why it was so disheartening to see them get plucked by the NCAA for review.
Yeah, and, well, maybe if there had been a white savior, the NCAA would have been fine with it.
Yes, although they did come down to, they did look into Sandra Bullock a lot too in that movie, I remember. They only come out for the movies, these people. They love the spotlight. Yeah. So, how did you feel about it as a sports movie?
It's not really a sports movie.
Okay.
There's almost no football.
Okay.
There's practice, but there's like one game, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and one pregame.
A game and a pregame.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
So it's not like an action-packed football movie.
Sure.
And that's okay, because this is not about football, really. This is about Ray and Faye and their time together. So they actually did film this on campus, on real Clemson University campus. They actually filmed football scenes at halftime during a real game. So the fans in the stands are real fans, which is kind of fun. Yeah, it is.
They ran down the hill.
That's a big deal.
That's the thing. Yeah. There's a rock you touch, and then you run down a hill.
And the stadium's packed.
The stadium was legit packed. No CGI necessary, because they are packing those seats themselves. So I think that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was.
So
it adds something.
Filmed in September 2019, the September that didn't have Corona.
Yeah, good timing.
Everything. We could still pack everyone into a building and not feel too bad about it.
Yeah, no 20% capacity there.
That's right. So I thought the acting was really good. And obviously we're relying on a lot of young people to make this happen, but it was a good ensemble. Obviously the two brothers are the standouts here, as they should be, and they have a really good bond. Like, they have a very believable bond, but they do go through some hard times, so it's not all sunny days for them. But they're making the best of it, of a really tough situation. But, you know, we remember that this situation they're in is because their mom is getting help, which is also a really good thing.
It is, and I thought that was well done in the movie. They don't make the mom the bad person.
No, not
They
at all.
understand, like, it's a difficult situation for everyone. She's trying to get help, and, you know, she has to make that choice. Ray has to make that choice.
So
she is.
It's hard that there are going to be unfortunate consequences to that. And I see that all the time, where even when people are willing and ready to go and there's a bed available, and those are the most difficult things, if you have kids, how do you make that work? How do you disappear for 3 or 4 or 6 months?
Yeah.
But that should not be the thing holding you back from getting well.
No, because then you're just in that cycle where you're just in and out, in and out.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are some rehab facilities that accommodate families, but not nearly enough. Addictions is a family disease, and if one person is an addict, everyone in the family suffers. And so I think it is a very positive thing, and clearly would have come in handy here, because this kid is going to fall through the cracks. And if you already are coming from a place of your one parent is an addict, you live in a place of basically poverty, and then you're going to just abandon this kid, well, that's how these situations just keep entire families down. It's very hard to claw out of that. And here we have this one brother who's getting a university education. And it's so sweet when we see him like studying addictions. He clearly wants to know more about it. He's always quizzing his professor about stuff he read in extended reading even, because he's so interested in learning about it and motivated to learn about it.
Of course. He has the opportunity.
So
there's a lot here.
Yeah.
I think it is a good story. And it's a well done movie.
It is. It is no frills. They're not going, you know, this director is not going to distinguish himself with this movie, I suppose. He's just relying on the sort of glowy, feel-good aspect of it. And that's fine,
okay.
because that's why it was chosen, right? Yep. That's why we select to tell this story. So it is a true story. It does have a true happy ending. And it is a nice family view too.
It is.
So I think that's a nice.
None of these football players curse.
No, they do not. They're gentlemen.
Yeah.
Although, somebody please tell me what the crop top situation is. Why do so many football players want to wear crop tops? I don't understand.
It's a great question.
Thank you. I was really worried about some people. Anyways, it's a good family view, and I think sometimes over the holidays we don't want to be like totally immersed in Christmas themed movies, and this is just a nice one that the family can watch together and get those warm, cozy feelings without overdosing on holiday.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is more of a New Year's bowl game scenario.
Okay, sure.
It's something for everyone.
Okay, let's go with that. I like that. Something for everyone. We both liked it. It's on Disney Plus. I'll put the trailer up so you can check it out. But I think it's a crowd pleaser. It's a crowd pleaser at a time when we're not allowed to have crowds. So there you go.
There you go.
Enjoy at your will. It's on Disney Plus. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.